Well, the top focus this evening, JDS Hole Narsipur MLA and son of former Prime Minister HD Devagowda, who was arrested on the 4th of May in a case of abduction. HD Revanna was released on bail from the Parappana Agrahara jail in Bengaluru this afternoon. Revanna also faces a case of molestation, but his release brings to focus perhaps the most important question in a case that's dominated the headlines both in Karnataka and nationally. Why has there been no progress in bringing back HD Revanna's son and the Hassan Member of Parliament Prajwal Revanna to face the investigating authorities? Remember, Prajwal faces a case of rape and other serious crimes and had fled the country soon after the allegations erupted. Will the focus on the case that dominated the headlines during the phase 3 of the elections when half of Karnataka voted fade out as we move further away from the polls? On the one side, there are procedural issues that need to be taken into account for investigators to bring him back. While there is a blue-collar notice against him issued by the Interpol, the investigators are yet to seek an arrest warrant against him. Once they get that, they can bolster their hunt for Prajwal further. Perhaps get a red corner notice issued by Interpol if he still doesn't turn up. There are also important questions over whether the JDS and its ally, the BJP, as NDA allies, should take far more aggressive steps to force him back, and also if the Congress is exerting enough political pressure on the case after polls. We'll put all those questions to a special panel lined up this evening. But first, let's quickly listen in to HD Revanna's first reaction after being released on bail.
ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದ ಆದೇಶಗಳನ್ನ ಪಾಲಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಬೇರೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಕಾಲುವೆ ನನಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಪಾರವಾದಂತ ಗೌರವ ಇದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಕಳೆದ 11 ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದ ಆದೇಶಗಳನ್ನ ಪಾಲಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಆಪಾದನೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ಹೊರಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ದೇವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಇದಿಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೌರವ ಇದೆ.
So key questions to be answered on the case, but of course the most important, when and why has Prajwal Revanna still not appeared before the investigators? On the panel this evening, Lavanya Balal of the Congress Party, Anurag Naidu, a political analyst who supports the BJP and the JDS, Beena Pillai, lawyer at the Karnataka High Court, and Mr. Sanjay Singh, former Additional Director General of Police of Karnataka. My first question to you, Anurag Naidu, isn't there an important message that the NDA needs to send across by ensuring Prajwal Revanna returns there? While there are procedural issues to bring him back, as an MP, as an elected MP, shouldn't there be enormous political pressure on him from his own party and its allies to ask him to come back and face the investigators?
Well, I think you are totally correct. His own party, that is JDS, should be very concerned about his whereabouts and should be putting all the pressure. But to say that the allies are also equally responsible for this every single time will not be fair to them, because we know that the election season is going on, and particularly speaking about the Bharatiya Janata Party, the official statements from none other than the Honorable Home Minister and several other ministers are out there. The president of the state unit has also clarified. I think it's very unfair to draw the partner Bharatiya Janata Party into this particular case. And it is for the JD. I mean, look, what we have to understand is nobody can run away from the law of the land. And what has come to the surface, it is unpardonable. Issues that Mr. Prajwal Revanna is an offender, and there is no doubt that nobody should be shielding him. And the fact that the JDS should show some kind of political maturity, we expect. I really expect JDS, being an ally of an NDA, will step up to the standards of the NDA alliance, and then they'll take the actions which is required to bring him back and tell his whereabouts and ask him to surrender.
You're putting the onus on the JDS, Anurag Naidu. I'll come to the question of allies, but at a later stage in this conversation. Let me go across to Lavanya Balal right now. Lavanya, the worry is that post-polls, there may not be enough political aggression, even on the part of the Congress, to pursue this case. For instance, getting an arrest warrant against Prajwal Revanna.
Good evening, Veera. I think it is quite easy for everyone to blame the Congress and say, I don't think you might in the future have enough drive to bring him back or make him face the law of the land and all of that. I don't think we should predict all of those things, but let us not forget while we discuss all of this stuff. On May 6th, when our Honorable Home Minister spoke to Kumaraswamy, he said the alliance of the BJP and the JDS stays strong. This after the case broke out and the whole thing was going on. This also, let's not forget the point, in December 2023, the BJP was aware of Prajwal Revanna's actions. They chose to forge the alliance with a rapist and endorse his, candidature. They sent Prime Minister Narendra Modi to campaign for him. Let's not forget that. Our commitment is to ensure that the women get justice, and we will do everything possible for that. At this point of time, the Karnataka government, with its, it is restricted to the state, right? So they have asked the central government for assistance to bring him back. The onus is on the central government to take an initiative and ensure that Prajwal Revanna is brought back. But we do not have too much of trust in the central government in doing the right thing, because you have seen in the last 10 years, the number of absconders from India, including Nityananda, who is wanted for sexual assault cases in Karnataka. He went on to form a country of his own. So
I expect that from a politician, but Lavanya, I must point out that your comments seem more attacking the BJP than focusing on the question that I've raised, that I think is very important for investigators. And I'll go to Mr. Sanjay Sahai on this. From the investigators' point of view, Mr. Sahai, and you've been observing this case, how would you see the way they have progressed on this case, and whose fault is it that Prajwal Revanna, or is there been enough pressure on Prajwal Revanna to return and face the investigators?
So I'll not get into the political smoke screen, and I'll come to professional investigation straight away. So Prajwal Revanna was issued with a notice, I think around 10 to 12 days back. And at that particular point in time, his lawyer told that this person will appear in a week's time. Now that grant of time was not given to Prajwal Revanna, and he was asked to appear within 24 hours when the second notice was issued to him. Later, what transpired was a blue corner notice, which is primarily to get additional information on the person's identity, location, and other activities. So we have not graduated to the red corner notice as yet. Besides, there will be a large number of evidence which would have been collected so far, which would indicate as to where this person would be or his modus operandi to get out of this country. There might be also information with regards to where he has landed in Germany and what his local connections or the whereabouts could be. So that can be one area which can be pushed through. And I think the seizure of mobile phones and other gadgets would also throw immense light. What is required as of now is to get detailed information on this person and then to strategize as to how to get him back to this country, either because of the pressure exerted by political diplomatic channels, or by way of extradition, or by way of collecting other information by which he is supposed to come back to this country. So broadly, the efforts which could be made further has to be more comprehensive, more intensive, primarily aiming how to locate him and bring him back.
Okay, let me take this across to Beena Pillai. Beena, do you believe that a red corner notice, or at least working towards a red corner notice, which from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, would require first an arrest warrant from a court, should have been done by now, given that this is a case of rape?
See, this is a classic example where the entire system of our country has united together to protect the molesters than the victims. So the NCW has filed the case even after that Prajwal Revanna has fled from the country. That itself shows that how vigilant we were. And I understood that Revanna has granted bail on the main point that there is a delay in filing the complaint before the police. But we should understand one point in the sense, the system, what system we have for the victims to come forward and to give a complaint fearlessly. We don't have a proper system for that. sure that Prajwal will take asylum in some other places. I don't know what this our country or our political system or our leaders will be, bringing forward to bring him back to the country.
Okay, as you make that point, and it's actually a disconcerting note to end this conversation, but I have the last 1 minute, and I'm going to ask Lavanya Balal and Anurag Naidu as well. Do you believe, as we move further away from the elections, given that there are political ramifications in this case, and first to you, Lavanya Balal, 10 seconds quickly, will there be a lack of focus as we move further away and political realities change in Karnataka?
Absolutely not, Veera. We are committed to ensuring that the victims get justice. So there will be focus. We will not let this case die down.
Anurag Naidu, is it time, even though the BJP may just be an ally and the focus is on the JDS, is it time to send out an extremely strong message and ensure that Prajwal Revanna faces the authorities for both allies?
Well, absolutely. But I think the union government cannot take a suo motu at this point in time because the case is very much with the state government. And we expect the state government, like going by Mr. Sahai's, comments, it appears that maybe the state government could have done something better, to seizure of mobile phones, could have got them more information. Maybe. Maybe. I'm only hoping for that. I'm hoping for a better investigation. I'm sure when the time is right, when the time comes,
you can always blame
the union government will take an action.
Well, when the time is right is not the way an investigation often proceeds, but I'll have to end this conversation. I'm sorry, Mr. Sahai, I'll have to end this conversation right here for want of time, but we'll keep our focus on the issue.